Hello everyone, in this video you are going to understand the Enhanced Interior Gateway Routing Protocol configuration using Cisco Packet Tracer. The aim is to configure and test Enhanced Interior Gateway Routing Protocol using Cisco Packet Tracer. The objectives include the following: to create a topology to illustrate the use of EIGRP, to configure router as EIGRP, to use configured EIGRP from a remote PC or a remote router and test the network connectivity, to analyze the EIGRP routing tables, to analyze the routing metric used by EIGRP, and to understand load balancing in EIGRP. Now let me introduce the EIGRP protocol to you. EIGRP is an enhanced interior gateway routing protocol. It is used for routing within an autonomous system. Autonomous system is the one which is governed by a single organization, and this autonomous system has got a number from 0 to 65535 because this autonomous system is represented with 16 bits. So minimum value for the autonomous system can be 0 and maximum value for the autonomous system can be 65535. EIGRP is a hybrid protocol as it uses the features of both the distance vector routing protocol like the RIP routing protocol and the link state routing protocol like the OSPF routing protocol. We have seen that the RIP routing protocol uses the hop count as the metric. This RIP routing protocol uses the hop count as the metric for routing, and the OSPF routing protocol uses the cost as the routing metric. So here the EIGRP combines the metric of both the RIP routing protocol and the OSPF routing protocol to determine the shortest path right from the source to the destination. EIGRP automates routing decisions and configurations in a computer network. That is, it is a dynamic routing protocol. It is a Cisco proprietary protocol available on Cisco routers only. It has an administrative distance value of 90. Now this AD value can be between 0 to 255. It can be between 0 and 255. Now this AD value is the feature that routers use in order to select the best path. It is a feature that routers use to select the best path right from the source to the destination. Here a value of 0 means the best path and the value of 255 means the worst path. EIGRP supports IPv6 and is scalable in a well-designed network and provides extremely quick response times. EIGRP routers learn routing paths through the messages received from the other routers. That is, the learning in EIGRP happens to the neighbors. Every router can learn the routing paths in the network through its neighbors and choose the best path from multiple paths based on a metric. So even if there are multiple paths available from a particular destination to a source, then the EIGRP is capable of determining the best path from the multiple paths based on a metric. EIGRP updates contain 5 metrics: minimum bandwidth, delay, load, reliability, and maximum transmission unit. But out of these 5 metrics, EIGRP considers the minimum bandwidth and delay to calculate the minimum cost to reach the destination. By default, only minimum bandwidth and delay are used to compute the best path out of these 5 metrics. EIGRP supports load balancing, that is, it will allow the equal traffic from the two paths which are having the same metric. For example, there are two alternate paths available between these two routers. One is a direct path and the other path is via this intermediate router. And if both the paths have the equal metric like the cost to reach this destination from this source router is say 1250 and the other path is also having the same metric, that is 1250, then the equal traffic will be there on these two paths, and this load balancing is supported by the EIGRP. EIGRP can put up to 4 routes of equal cost in the routing table. However, EIGRP can also load balance over unequal cost links. EIGRP can be configured for load balancing on maximum up to 6 routes of equal cost. So there can be maximum up to 6 routes between a pair of source and destination which can have equal cost. So load balancing can be supported up to maximum of 6 routes when EIGRP is used. Now let us understand the operation of EIGRP. In EIGRP, let us say these two routers are configured as the EIGRP routers, router A and router B. First of all, these two routers will send the neighbor discovery messages to each other, and after that they will send the full routing updates. Once they become the neighbors of each other, they exchange the full routing updates with each other, and when they send the full routing updates, they are already the neighbors of each other. They have developed the neighbor adjacency, and after exchanging the full routing updates, the routers keep on exchanging the hello messages, and during exchange of these hello messages, they update their routing tables for any partial entries. Like in a network topology, there may be some changes, like there may be some addition of a new subnet, or a subnet may be deleted from the network, or there may be change on the link of a particular there may be change of the link status in the network. A link may be down, particular link may be down, or particular link may be up. So these status changes on the links, or addition or deletion of any subnet from the network. So the corresponding changes will only be updated by the routers, and those changes are updated as the partial updates instead of exchanging the entire routing table. The EIGRP routers will update the partial changes happening in the network topology, unlike in the RIP routing protocol. In RIP routing protocol, we have seen that the routers exchange the entire routing table as the updates, whereas in case of the EIGRP routing protocol, only the partial updates are made by the EIGRP routers. After having the full routing updates, they go for only the partial updates. Now let us see the EIGRP metric calculation. EIGRP calculates the total metric by scaling the bandwidth and delay metrics. EIGRP uses the following formula to scale the bandwidth. The bandwidth is calculated as 10 to the power 7 by bandwidth of minimum bandwidth of the outgoing interface, and this is multiplied by the factor 256, where bandwidth I is the least bandwidth of all outgoing interfaces on the router or a particular route to the destination network, represented in kilobits. This bandwidth is represented in kilobits. EIGRP uses the following formula to scale the delay. Delay is equal to the cumulative delay here. The cumulative delay, in the sense, if we consider the path from router 0 to router 2, then the path may be defined like R0, R1 and R2. Now between R0 and R2 there are two links, so each of these links is having a delay component. So the total delay from R0 to R2 will be the delay on the link between R0 and R1 plus the delay on the link between R1 and R2. So here the delay I is a cumulative delay, and it has to be divided by 10, because in EIGRP the delay which is available on the links between the routers, that delay is in tens of microseconds. It is available as tens of microseconds. So we need to divide this cumulative delay by 10 and multiply it by a factor of 256 in order to scale the value of calculated delay. Then EIGRP uses these scaled values to determine the total metric to the network. Now metric is calculated as some constant k1 multiplied by bandwidth plus k2 times bandwidth divided by 256 minus load plus k3 times delay multiplied by this whole multiplied by k5 divided by reliability plus k4, and this entire thing multiplied by the factor 256. Now here the default values of k are as follows. K1 and K3 are only 1, and K2, K3 K2, K4 and K5 are zeros. So if we consider the default behavior of EIGRP, then the metric curtails down to simply bandwidth plus delay, and here the bandwidth is the least bandwidth of the outgoing interface and delay is the minimum delay. It is the cumulative delay, and both bandwidth and delay are the scaled values. Therefore, the metric becomes 10 to the power 7 by bandwidth of outgoing interface, which is this bandwidth, plus the delay of cumulative delay available on the links on a particular route divided by 10 multiplied by 256. Now, to configure the EIGRP, we are going to consider this scenario, network scenario, wherein there are three routers, router R0, router R1 and router R2, and there are total 6 networks, this LAN 1, LAN 1, LAN 2 and LAN 3, and we have WAN 1, WAN 2 and WAN 3. There are 6 networks total in this topology, and I have noted down the bandwidths and the delay components on each of the link from the Cisco Packet Tracer. These are the default values of bandwidth and delay available on each of the link as seen in this figure. Now what we are going to do is we are going to inactivate the WAN 3 link first. We are not going to activate it, that is we are not going to activate the serial 3/0 interface of router 0, and we are not going to activate serial 3/0 interface of router 2 as well. So this link will be inactive. When this link is inactive, we are going to configure the EIGRP on these routers, all these routers, and we are going to check the routing table for router 0 with the command show IP route, and the routing table of router 0 will have these entries. C stands for the directly connected path and D stands for the path learned through EIGRP. And if we consider the path from router R0 to this 30. network, LAN network, 30. network, then this 30. network is reachable with an AD value of 90, which is the administrative distance value for EIGRP. This network is reachable with a metric of 21026560 via the next interface, that is 172.16.0.2. It is reachable with this time period, and it is reachable via this serial 2/0 interface. So here let me explain you how this metric is calculated. The metric calculation is shown over here. See, when we consider the WAN 3 link is inactive, then the path from R0 to this 30. network will be R0, R1, R2 and then this 30. network. Now I have written here the bandwidth on each link and the delay on each link. The bandwidth available on the fast Ethernet interface of this router is 100 MB. The bandwidth on the outgoing link of R0 is 128 KB, and the delay on this link is 20,000 microsecond. The bandwidth available on the outgoing interface of R1 is 128 KB and delay is again 20,000 microseconds, and or R2 the fast Ethernet interface is having the bandwidth 100 MB and the delay as 100 microseconds. So the metric from R0 to 30. network will be calculated as 10 to the power 7 divided by 128, which is the least bandwidth of the outgoing interface here, plus the cumulative delay, that is this 20,000 microsecond plus 20,000 microsecond plus 100 microsecond, 20,000 microsecond plus 20,000 microsecond plus 100 microsecond, and this delay should be divided by 10 because the delay is available on the EIGRP links, which is tens of microseconds. The delay available on the EIGRP router links is in tens of microseconds, so we need to divide this cumulative delay component by 10, and this whole thing must be multiplied by a factor of 256. So the metric calculation for this path is 21026560. The same is observed over here in response to the command show IP route. Now when we activate this WAN 3 link by using the no shut command on these corresponding serial interfaces, serial 3/0 of both these routers, and then we find that the EIGRP routers will change the route from this R0, R1, R2 to 30. network to R0, R2 and 30. network. So in this path now the bandwidth is 128 kb, and the delay is 20,000 microsecond plus 100 microsecond. So here the metric calculation is 10 to the power 7 by 128 plus 20,000 microsecond plus 100 microsecond divided by 10, and this whole multiplied by 256, which is equal to 20514560. And thus the EIGRP router will now find that the metric on this alternate path is higher than the metric available on this direct path WAN 3 link. So the EIGRP router R0 will update the entry for 30 dot network using the WAN 3 link, which is having the metric of 20514560, and this 30 dot network is reachable via the next hop interface, that is 172.20.0.2, and it is reachable in this much time period, and it is reachable via serial 3/0 interface. And when WAN 3 link is activated here, there is addition of the direct network 172.20.0.0 via the serial interface 3/0, and when the WAN 3 link is activated, there are two paths available for 172.18.0.0 network from router 0. Router 0 can reach this 172.18.0.0 network, this network WAN 2 network, via two different paths. It may reach this path, this WAN 2 network via router R1, or it may reach this WAN 2 network via this R2 router. So here when the router R0 is reaching this 172.18.0.0 network via two paths, and both the paths are having this equal metric, the EIGRP router R0 will perform load balancing on these two paths, which will be explained in the further slide. Now you can note down the IP address configuration details and the clock rate configuration details on the interfaces of the routers, and the bandwidths and delay available on the links. But you can change the bandwidth and delay on the link. You can set the bandwidth with the bandwidth command. You go on the particular interface of the router and set the bandwidth using bandwidth command, bandwidth, and specify the number like 128 or whatever you want. It can be 256 also. No need to specify the unit over here. Bandwidth 128 will set the bandwidth to 128 kb, and the command to set the delay is delay 10. Now when you set the delay 10, the delay available on that particular link will be 100 microsecond, because as I told you earlier that on the links of the EIGRP router, the delay available is in tens of microseconds. So you need to set the delay with a value which is 1/10 of the actual delay value. Okay. Now here you can note down these IP address configuration details, but it is not necessary that you have to perform or you have to use the same IP address configuration. You can use some other IP address configuration also. Now let me explain you the commands on the EIGRP routers. The initial command is just for assigning the host name to the routers, router 0, router 1 and router 2. The next commands are for configuring the IP address on the fast Ethernet interface of router 0, router 1 and router 2. Fast Ethernet interface is configured with the IP address and it is activated using no shut command. Similarly on R1, similarly on R2. Next is to configure serial 2/0 interface of router 0, router 1 and router 2 with IP address. Set the clock rates wherever required on the DC terminals and activate the interfaces by using no shut command. So serial 2/0 on each of the router is activated using no shut command. Now on router 0, the serial interface 3/0 will be configured initially with the IP address, but it will not be activated. Here no shut command is not used. That means the WAN 3 link is inactive. Same way here on router 2, the WAN 3 link is inactive. WAN 3 link is inactive. It is not activated yet using the no shut command. Now after doing this, you can check the routing table using show IP route command. Now in response to this command, you will get the directly connected networks on the router. For example, on router 0 you will be able to see the directly connected networks 10.0.0.0 and 172.16.0.0. The third network is not active, so you will be able to see these two networks only. On router 1 you will be able to see all the three directly connected networks, and router 2 will be able to see only two directly connected networks because WAN3 link is not active. Then these are the EIGRP configuration commands. Here the first EIGRP configuration command is router EIGRP autonomous system number. The 600 is the autonomous system number. And here you have to make note that all these three routers should belong to the same autonomous system number. All these routers should belong to same autonomous system number. For example, all these three routers belong to autonomous system number 600. So here the command on router 0, router 1 and router 2 will be same, router EIGRP 600, where 600 is the autonomous system number. Then next advertise the directly connected networks on each of the router. For router 0 the directly connected networks are 10 dot network, 170.16 dot network and 170.20 network. On router 1 there are 3 directly connected networks, 20 dot network, 170.16 network and 170.18 network. On router 2 there are 3 direct networks, 30 dot network, 170.18 network and 170.20 network. Now after advertising these neighbors, you can observe the links for the bandwidths and the delays. The command is show interface pass Ethernet 0/0. With this command you can check out the bandwidth available on this interface as well as delay on this interface, and you can note down the bandwidth and delay for the metric calculation. Then here you can change the bandwidth using the simple command bandwidth and value of that bandwidth, and the delay can be changed with the command delay 30. But this delay command 30 will set the bandwidth of 300 microsecond on this serial interface 3/0 of router 1. So you have to take care while setting the delay. The delay has to be set with 1/10 of the value which is required on that particular link. Now after doing this, you can now analyze the metric calculation from say router 0 to 30 dot network, router 0 to this LAN 3 network, and after that you can check the routing tables using show IP route. Then you can check the paths learned through EIGRP. Show IP route will display the directly connected networks as well as the networks which are learned through EIGRP. Show IP route EIGRP will display only the networks learned through EIGRP. Show IP EIGRP neighbors will display the EIGRP neighbor table. Show IP EIGRP topology will display the EIGRP topology tables, and show IP EIGRP traffic will display the types of packets and the counts of packets which are used in the EIGRP communication. It will display the number and types of packets which are sent and received. And after this you can now activate the WAN3 link. WAN3 link can be activated on the serial 3/0 interface of router 0 and serial 3/ interface of router 2 by giving the no shut command. And after this again check with the updated routing tables using the show IP route command. Now you will find that the routing tables are updated with the different metric, and some addition of the newer networks may be there in the updated routing table. So you have to observe the change in the routing table of router R0 before activation of WAN3 link and after activation of WAN3 link. You have to check the router 0 routing table before WAN3 link activation and after the WAN3 link activation. And you have to observe the metric value. You have to analyze that metric value. You can calculate the metric value based on the delay and the bandwidth available on the links. Now, after successfully performing this experiment, you can check the connectivity between any two end devices belonging to different networks, or belonging to same network or different networks can be checked, and the connectivity between a particular router or an end device also can be checked using the ping command. And you can even trace the path using the traceroute command to a particular network or to a particular IP address. Now, let me show you the responses of some of the commands run on the EIGRP routers. The show IP route displays the routing table of the EIGRP router, wherein you can see the directly connected networks as well as the networks which are learned through EIGRP. Here D stands for EIGRP. Now this is the response of the show IP route command after the activation of WAN3 link. So here you can see that the router R0 can reach 170.18 network via two different paths, but having the same metric 2102.4000, but it is reachable via two separate interfaces. Once it is reachable with 170.20.0.2, and other way it is reachable via 170.16.0.2 via serial interface 3/0 and via serial interface 2/0 respectively. Now, since the router 0 is reachable to this network via two different paths but with the same metric, the load balancing is done by this router R0. Router R0 will perform the load balancing in this sense. It will send the same amount of traffic, same number of packets on both these links. It will perform load balancing on the available alternate links. So here you can see the load balancing is performed by R0. Then this show IP EIGRP neighbors displays this content where H stands for handle, and handle displays the order in which the adjacency is developed between the neighbors. Here 0 value means that 172.20.0.2 has developed the neighbor adjacency first, and then 170.16.0.2 has developed the neighbor adjacency next, as the handle value is 1 over here. Then this neighbor table also displays the network interface through which the particular IP address is reachable. It also displays the hold time. This hold time is the hold down timer per EIGRP neighbor. Its default value is 15. And once this hold down timer value expires, the neighbor adjacency is lost. Once this hold down time value is expired, the neighbor adjacency is lost. Then uptime is the time which indicates how long the neighbor has been up. SRTT is the smooth round trip time, which is the time in milliseconds which is taken by the EIGRP packet to or in other words, the time in milliseconds which is required to transmit the EIGRP packet and receive the acknowledgement is nothing but the smooth round trip time, which is expressed in milliseconds. And then retransmission timer is the time period for which the EIGRP router can wait before retransmitting a particular packet, and this time is also in milliseconds. The next parameter is the queue parameter, and it specifies the count of the packets. There can be three types of packets: update packets, then response packets, and query packets. Update packets, query packets, and response packets. So this queue count indicates the number of these packets. If there is a non-zero value over here, means that these packets are in queue and there is congestion in the network. And the optimum value for this queue count is expected to be 0, so that there is no congestion in the network. Sequence number is the number of the last EIGRP packet received by the EIGRP router. The EIGRP packets may be update packets, query packets, and response packet. The sequence number is the sequence number of the last packet, EIGRP packet, received by the EIGRP router. Now this is the output for the show EIGRP topology. Here you can see P is the Passive means the router has not received any EIGRP input from a neighbor and the network is assumed to be stable. S stands for successors. This successors is the number of routes available. The router R0 can reach 10 dot network with a single route which is available. It can reach 30 dot network with a single route. It can reach 170.16 network with a single route. It can reach 170.18 dot network with two routes, two alternate routes, one via 172.20.0.2 and the other via 170.16.0.2. Router R0 can reach this 170.20.0.0 network using a single route. Here FD stands for feasible distance. The feasible distance is nothing but the metric. The metric to reach 10 dot network is 28160. The metric to reach the 30 dot network is 20514560 and so on. And this EIGRP topology also displays the serial link or the interface with which the network is reachable. It also displays the two different metrics over here, the first metric and the second metric, which are separated by a slash. The first metric is the metric calculated based on the minimum values of the delay and bandwidth, and the second metric is the metric which is advertised by the neighboring peer. This is the distance which is advertised by the peer, and the first metric is the feasible distance, which is nothing but the metric calculated from delay and bandwidth. And here you can see the response for show IP route 30.0.0. network. Here I want to show you that the total delay is the cumulative delay. We have seen that this router R0 can reach this LAN 3 network, or when WAN 3 link is activated, it can reach via this R2. So here the total delay in this path is this 20,000 microsecond on this link between R0 and R1 plus 100 microsecond on the link between LAN 3 and R2. So the total delay will be 20,000 microsecond plus 100 microsecond, that is 20,100 microsecond, and minimum bandwidth available on this serial link is 128 kb. So that's why what I wanted to show you here. Now these are the steps to configure the EIGRP on the routers. It is already discussed while discussing the IP address configuration, so it will be just the mere repetition of all the things. So you can please note down these steps, and after performing the experiment you can update these routing tables. You have to update the routing tables before activation of WAN 3 link and after activation of WAN 3 link, and observe the changes in the routing tables. You have to observe how the metric calculation is done, and you have to observe whether the alternate paths are available between any two routers or not, and so on and so forth. So here it is expected from you people to include all these things in the output, and after including all these things from as the output, you can conclude from the observations which will be drawing from the output. Now let us move on to the Cisco Packet Tracer to configure the EIGRP routers. See, I have considered this topology as discussed before for configuring the EIGRP routers. Now first of all, let me show you the routing tables on each of the router before configuration of the EIGRP routing. First of all, I'll show you the routing tables on each of the routers using show IP route command. Here you can see router 0 has two directly connected networks, 10.0 and 170.16. network. The third network is not seen on this router 0 because the serial interface 3/0 is not in active state. Similarly, I'll show you the routing tables on R1 and R2 before configuration of EIGRP. So on R1, let us see the routing table. Show IP route. So here router 1 is having 3 directly connected networks. Similarly, we'll check on router 2. On router 2, again we'll check the IP routing table using show IP route. Here you can see again only 2 directly connected networks, though there are 3 in the configuration, because we have not activated yet the WAN 3 link on this router 2. Now let us configure the EIGRP commands on each of the router. On router 0, the first command will be the configuration of autonomous system number. So first of all, we'll have to enter in the configure terminal mode, configuration mode with conft command. Now once we are on the config mode, we can use the router commands, router EIGRP and autonomous system number. Let the autonomous system number be 600. Router EIGRP 600. Fine. Now next we have to advertise the directly connected networks with the network command, network 10.0.0.0. Similarly, the second network on this router is 172.16.0.0. The third network on this router is 172.20.0.0. This is corresponding to the WAN 3 link. The WAN 3 link is not activated yet, but we'll advertise it and keep. And after activating WAN 3 link, this network will be considered by router 0 for routing. Now let us configure the similar commands on the router 1, and once the configuration is complete on all the 3 routers, we'll check the updated routing tables. Now here again, first of all, use the configure terminal command. In config mode, we can configure the router EIGRP. Autonomous system number is 600. All the 3 routers should belong to the same autonomous system number. And next is to advertise the directly connected networks, network 20.0.0.0. second network on this router which is directly connected is 172.16.0.0, and the third network is 172.18.0.0. and here you can observe that how this router 1 has developed the neighbor adjacency with router 0, because both of these routers have configured with EIGRP commands now. So router 1 has developed the neighbor adjacency with router 0 via the serial interface 2/0. The neighbor adjacency with router 3 is not yet developed. It will be developed once we configure router 2 with the EIGRP commands. Now here again we'll enter the configuration mode using conft command. In config mode, we can configure the router EIGRP and autonomous system number is 600. Now let us advertise the direct networks on this router, network 30.0.0.0. Next network directly connected on this router is 172.18.0.0, which is towards router 2, and here you can see that the neighbor adjacency is developed with the neighboring router. Now let us configure the third directly connected network here, which is the network for WAN 3 and towards router 0. So now all the 3 networks are advertised. Now let us one by one check the routing tables on all the EIGRP routers. Now routers are configured with EIGRP. So for checking the routing table on config mode, the command is do show IP route. Now here you can see that the networks are updated with D entry. D stands for EIGRP. So the networks corresponding to D entry are the networks learned through EIGRP. You can observe here the 30 dot network is reachable with an administrative distance value of 90 and with a metric of 21026560, which I have explained to you earlier how to calculate the metric using the bandwidth and delay. And this 30 dot network is reachable via 172.16.0.2 with this much amount of time and via serial interface 2/0, because 172.16 network is reachable via serial interface 2/0 from router 0. Now similarly, we can check the updated routing table on router 1 and router 2. On router 1, we'll first of all exit from configuration router mode, and in config mode we can use the command do show IP route to check the updated routing tables. You can see here the routing table has got entries for C and D. C is the directly connected network and D is the network learned through the EIGRP. Now if you want to check the entries which are learned through EIGRP only, then you can append the EIGRP word ahead of the do show IP route command. So here you can see the routes learned through EIGRP only. Now similarly, you can check the updated routing table on the third router, that is router 2. Here again use the command do show IP route to check the updated routing tables. So here router 2 has got this updated routing table. D stands for the routes learned through EIGRP and C is a directly connected network. Now let us check out the delay and bandwidth on the routers. Let me show you how to check the delay. Now for checking the delay, first of all you have to enter a specific interface. For example, interface serial 2/0. On this interface you have to check the bandwidth. So here on this interface the bandwidth can be configured. To check out the bandwidth, you have to be on the normal hash prompt, that is privileged mode. Here you can type the command show interface serial 2/0. So here you can observe the delay and bandwidth available on this interface. The delay available is 128 kilobit and the bandwidth available is 128 kilobit and the delay available is 20,000 microseconds. Fine. Now similarly, you can check the bandwidth and delay on other interfaces for calculating the metric. If you want to change the delay and bandwidth on the link, then the commands are simple. You have to go on that particular interface and check out the delay and bandwidth. For example, you are going on interface serial 2/0. Then you can set the bandwidth using the bandwidth command. I'll keep the same bandwidth. I do not want to change the bandwidth, so I'll define the bandwidth as 128 kilobit only. Command is accepted, means bandwidth is set on this, and the delay can be set with the command delay. Now delay available on this link was observed to be 20,000 microseconds, so we need to specify the count here 2000, so that the delay will be 20,000 microseconds on the link. Now let us check again the delay and bandwidth on this particular interface. To check the delay and bandwidth, the command is interface show interface and number of that interface. Now here you can observe the bandwidth is still 128 KB because I have mentioned the same count while configuring the bandwidth, and delay is still 20,000 microseconds because I have used the count 2000 while setting the delay. So here the delay observed on the link is multiplied by 10. So you have to configure the delay by dividing this count by 10. Fine. Now after this, let me show you the EIGRP topology table. For that, the command is show IP EIGRP topology. So here you can see the passive state for this network 10.network. There is one route to reach this network from router R0. The feasible distance is so much, that is the metric is 28160 to reach this 10.network, and this 10.network is connected via fast Ethernet 0/0. You can analyze the other readings. Now specifically here 170.18.0 network is reachable with one successor with a feasible distance of 2102400 via 170.16.0.2 and via the serial interface 2/0. Here there are two metrics. The first metric is the feasible distance, actual feasible distance, and the second metric is the metric advertised by the peer, or the distance advertised by the peer. Fine. Now Let us activate the third link on this router. Serial interface should be activated so that WAN3 link is active. Similarly, on router 2, we can activate the WAN3 link. Go on the particular interface number, interface serial 3/0, and give the no shut command. So link should be active here. Let us check it again. No shut. Let us check whether it is active on router 0 by checking the routing table. Do show IP route. Yes, it is active because this router 2 is reachable. Router 2 can reach this 172.16 network via the serial interface 3/0. It means the serial interface 3/0 is now active. And you can observe now the change in the routing table on router 2. Similarly, on router 0, can check the updated routing table. The updated routing table can be checked with the command do show IP route. Do show IP route. So here you can observe now the entry for this network. It is 172.18.0.0 is updated. This network is now reachable via two different routes, via two different interfaces, but with the same metric. So load balancing will be performed on this two different routes by router R0. Fine. So you have to observe the updated routing table after activation of WAN3 link and the routing table before activation of WAN3 link. I have shown here the routing table before activation of WAN3 link and routing table after activation of WAN3 link. These are the routing tables for router R0. Fine. Now let me show you the remaining commands on router 0. Let us check out the neighbors for this EIGRP router. Show IP EIGRP neighbors. So here you can see the handle. Handle specifies the number of the order in which the neighbors are added in the routing table, or the order in which the neighbor adjacency is developed with this neighboring networks or neighboring interfaces. Then hold down time is the time for which the router hold down time is the timer per EIGRP neighbor. Its default value is 15, and whenever it expires, the neighbor adjacency is lost. The uptime is the time for which the neighbor was up. That is it indicates how long the neighbor has been up. The SRTT is the smooth round trip time for the EIGRP packet. RTO is the time in millisecond for which the EIGRP router can wait before retransmitting the information, and Q count is the count of the update packets, request packets, query packets, and the reply packets. So lastly, I'll show you the command show IP EIGRP traffic. This will display the number of packets and the type of packets. So here you can see the hello packet sent and received and their numbers, the update packet sent and received and their numbers, the query packet sent and received their numbers, the reply sent and received their numbers, and so on. So in this way, we have successfully performed the EIGRP configuration on the Cisco routers. You can complete the routing table entries before and after the activation of WAN3 link. You can analyze the metric calculation, and you can understand the routing tables properly from the Cisco packet tracer, from the observations made from the Cisco packet tracer. Thanks for patient listening.